The 80s and 90s gave us pop royalty, voices we danced to, faces we idolized. But where did they go when the spotlight dimmed? This video reveals the untold journeys of 20 living legends. Some stumbled, others soared, but all left a mark. Get ready for a nostalgic ride that still hits hard. First, Madonna. Madonna isn't just the queen of pop. She's the blueprint. Bursting into the 80s with hits like a Virgin and Material Girl, she quickly became the ultimate pop chameleon, blending fashion, controversy, and reinvention like no one else. While critics tried to count her out, Madonna never stayed down. She navigated motherhood, ageism, and shifting musical tides with sharp determination. In 2023, she launched her Celebration Tour, drawing massive crowds across continents. At 65, she's still bending the rules, proving that pop isn't just for the young, it's for the bold. 2. Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson emerged from her famous family's shadow in the mid-80s with albums like Control and Rhythm Nation, 1814, redefining what a pop icon could be. Through groundbreaking choreography and socially conscious lyrics, Janet became a force. The 90s brought mega hits and global fame, but also heartbreak, including the infamous Super Bowl controversy. Still, she stayed resilient. In recent years, Janet has returned to the spotlight, headlining festivals and releasing new music, reminding the world she's not just Michael's sister, she's a legend in her own right. Third, Paula Abdul. Before she ruled the pop charts, Paula Abdul was choreographing dance routines for Janet Jackson and the Lakers. But by the late 80s, she stepped into the spotlight herself, dropping smash hits like Straight Up and Opposites Attract. Known for her bubbly personality and sharp dance moves, Paula quickly became a household name. Though she faded from music in the mid-90s, she returned to fame in the 2000s as a beloved, quirky judge on American Idol. In recent years, she's toured again, reminding fans that even decades later, she can still dance circles around the competition. Jordan Boy George. Boy George wasn't just a pop star, he was a cultural phenomenon. As the frontman of Culture Club, his soulful voice and gender-defying style captivated the 80s with hits like Do You Really Want to Hurt Me and Karma Chameleon. But fame came with chaos. Addiction, legal trouble, and media scrutiny followed. For a while, it seemed like Boy George might fade into tabloid history. Yet he made a powerful comeback, clean, self-aware, and wiser. Today, he tours globally, mentors rising stars on The Voice UK, and continues to challenge norms with the same courage that made him iconic in the first place. 5. Belinda Carlisle. Belinda Carlisle rose to fame with the Go-Go's before launching a solo career with hits like Heaven is a Place on Earth. Her angelic voice and upbeat charm made her a pop darling of the late 80s. Behind the scenes, she battled addiction and sought personal peace. After stepping back for years, Belinda returned to music, healthier and grounded. Now in her 60s, she tours again, embracing her legacy and sharing her timeless voice with loyal fans. 6. Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson was just 17 when she made history as the youngest artist to write, produce, and perform a Billboard #1 hit. With songs like Only in My Dreams, she became an 80s teen pop sensation. As trends shifted, she faded from the spotlight but kept creating. Battling Lyme disease quietly, Debbie eventually returned stronger, releasing new music and performing live. Recently, she headlined a Vegas residency, proving that true talent and catchy hooks never go out of style. 7. Rick Astley. Rick Astley's deep voice and catchy hit, Never Gonna Give You Up, made him an 80s sensation overnight. But by the early 90s, he stepped away from fame to focus on family. Years later, the internet turned him into a meme, and Rickrolling revived his career. Instead of resisting, he embraced it. With new albums and sold-out tours, Rick re-emerged cooler than ever. Today, he's proof that a viral joke can turn into a legendary second act. 8. Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper lit up the 80s with her wild style and infectious anthem, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. But behind the quirky fashion was a powerhouse voice and a sharp mind. She expanded into acting, activism, and even Broadway, winning a Tony for Kinky Boots. Though her chart-topping days faded, she never stopped creating. Now in her 70s, Cyndi continues to tour and advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, proving her true colors are bold and brilliant. 9. Vanilla Ice. With Ice Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice became the first rapper to top the Billboard Hot 100, riding a wave of early 90s fame, but success came fast and fell just as quickly. Criticized for image over substance, he disappeared from music charts and battled personal demons. Reinventing himself, he turned to real estate and reality TV. Embracing his nostalgic appeal, he now tours as a throwback icon. Vanilla Ice may be retro, but he's not irrelevant. Jashanta Tiffany. Tiffany captured hearts as a teenage mall tour pop star with her hit, I Think We're Alone Now. She became an overnight sensation in the late 80s, but fame faded as quickly as it arrived. Facing industry challenges and personal struggles, she stepped back to find her voice again. In recent years, Tiffany has returned with a rock edge, new music, and live shows. She's no longer just a teen idol, she's an artist with resilience and grit. If you're enjoying this video, click the like and subscribe button. Also turn on post notification so you can be notified when we post new and exciting contents like this one. MC Hammer. MC Hammer took the 90s by storm with You Can't Touch This, flashy dance moves, and even flashier pants. His fame soared, but so did his spending. After filing for bankruptcy, he faced public scrutiny and a major fall from grace. Yet Hammer found a purpose beyond pop, becoming a pastor, tech investor, and motivational speaker. Now he tours on nostalgia stages and mentors young talent. His story is a lesson in reinvention, humility, and never saying quit. 12th, Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown went from New Edition standout to solo superstar with hits like My Prerogative. His charisma and edge defined the late 80s and early 90s R&B. But addiction, legal issues, and personal loss, most notably the death of Whitney Houston, shook his world. Despite the chaos, Bobby fought to rebuild his life. Now sober and focused on family, he shares his journey through documentaries and performances, offering fans both his music and a raw, redemptive truth. 13. Sheena Easton. Sheena Easton burst onto the scene with Morning Train and quickly became a pop staple of the early 80s. Known for her clear vocals and versatility, she collaborated with Prince and even sang a James Bond theme. As the spotlight dimmed, she shifted to Broadway and voice acting, still using her talents in fresh ways. Today, Sheena occasionally performs live, embracing nostalgia with elegance. She's a reminder that true artistry doesn't fade, it adapts. 14. Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie transitioned from the Commodores to solo stardom with grace, releasing timeless hits like Hello and All Night Long. His smooth voice and heartfelt lyrics made him a romantic icon of the 80s. As trends shifted, Lionel stayed relevant, scoring residencies, mentoring new talent, and joining American Idol as a judge. Now in his 70s, he remains a class act, reminding fans that soul, charm, and storytelling never go out of style. 15. Salt and Peppa. Salt and Peppa broke barriers as one of the first all-female rap groups to dominate pop charts. With hits like Push It and Shoop, they brought boldness, empowerment, and fun to the 80s and 90s. After internal tension led to a hiatus, the duo eventually reunited. A 2021 Lifetime biopic reignited their legacy, and their Super Bowl performance in 2023 proved their energy hasn't faded. Salt and Peppa continues to tour, celebrate sisterhood, and push boundaries on their terms. 16. Billy Idol. With his bleach blonde hair and signature sneer, Billy Idol brought punk swagger to pop with hits like Rebel Yell and White Wedding. He was wild, magnetic, and lived fast. But behind the rock image was a man battling addiction. After a near-fatal motorcycle crash and years of struggle, Billy got clean and returned with new music. Now in his 60s, he still tours, his energy intact, reminding fans that rebellion can age gracefully. 17th, Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton's sultry voice made Unbreak My Heart a 90s classic. Her smooth blend of R&B and pop earned her Grammys and international fame. But behind the spotlight were financial woes and a battle with lupus. Toni stepped back at times for health, but always returned with grace. She's since starred in reality shows, released new music, and raised awareness for autoimmune diseases. Tony remains a soulful force, still unbreaking hearts with every note. 18. New Kids on the Block, NKOTB. NKOTB was the original boy band phenomenon, lighting up the late 80s and early 90s with hits like Step by Step. Screaming fans, sold-out arenas, and endless merch made them global icons. After breaking up in the mid-90s, they regrouped in 2008 and haven't looked back. Today, they headline nostalgic tours, drop new music, and even host themed cruises. Older, wiser, but still in sync, NKOTB proves that pop stardom can age like fine wine. 19th on Vogue. En Vogue brought fierce harmonies and sleek style to the 90s with hits like Free Your Mind and Hold On. They redefined girl group power, smart, soulful, and unshakably cool. Behind the scenes, lineup changes and industry shifts tested their unity. Yet the group persevered. Reuniting original members, they've since toured the world and released new material. En Vogue continues to command stages with grace and strength, proving elegance and empowerment never go out of fashion. 20. Jody Watley. Jody Watley stepped out of Shalimar and into solo stardom with hits like Looking for a New Love. A Grammy-winning trailblazer, she fused fashion, dance, and pop into a bold new image. Through the 90s and beyond, she remained fiercely independent, experimenting with styles and championing artistic control. Though she slipped from the mainstream, she kept making music and mentoring others. Today, Jody performs globally, her presence as polished and powerful as ever. They gave us the soundtrack of youth, and their stories still inspire us. From chart toppers to quiet fighters, these icons prove that resilience rocks. Which comeback moved you most? Drop a comment, hit that like, and don't forget to subscribe for more legends, more stories, and more heart. Until next time, keep the music playing.